fuel, but you can't refuel. God damn.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I received 1,000 gemstone powder, and to show you how much better that is than actually mining gemstones themselves, I currently have 22,068 gemstone powder, and if I go and mine a gemstone, I now have 22,078 gemstone powder, so that gemstone block gave me 10. Let's mine another one. Maybe it was a fluke. Let's just see. 22,088. Okay, I'm just getting really unlucky. Let's mine one more. 22,098. Wow. So in order to get the same amount of gemstone powder from mining these that I got from that one singular chest, I would need to mine 100 gemstone blocks. And if that doesn't seem ridiculous enough to you, let me open another one of these and see if I can get it to happen. Yeah, you can see right here in chat, I got both gemstone and mithril powder from that chest right there. So not only is it way better than actually mining the blocks themselves, but you can basically do both at the same time. Anyways, enough complaining from me. So after getting started on this grind, I was able to calculate using a mod that I was getting roughly 70 to 80,000 of each powder every single hour, which seems pretty decent, but it is basically universally accepted in the Skyblock community that you need to get to at least 4 million of each powder if you want to have a good mining setup, which meant that I was looking at another 50 hours minimum of powder grinding. On the bright side though, I was at least able to accomplish two things at once while doing this, because by mining the hardstone with an item called the jungle pickaxe, I could also accumulate sludge juice at the exact same time, which
apparently the mech's getting a built-in emote.
Eventually to craft that Devon armor I talked about earlier,
yeah.
He's got a lot of new stuff, because that's why
so it was a good time to get started.
I just had nothing
actually even ended up taking an additional 10 hours or so of mining to finish up all of the sludge juice I needed after I was done powder grinding, so it was a good thing I got started when I did. When I was finished though, I took a look at my hardstone collection and found out I had mined 15.8 million hardstone in the process of doing all that. And then I met my new mortal enemy. I mean, at first glance, the Forger seems like a pretty innocent guy, right? How could this face possibly be? Well, if you remember earlier when I was talking about forging those first couple of gemstone drills, you'll remember me discussing the different amounts of times it takes to forge things. So if I head over to the ore section here, you can see something like a piece of refined titanium takes 8 hours and 24 minutes to forge. And you even have 5 forge slots at a time. So technically, if you needed a lot of refined titanium, you could forge 5 every 8 hours. So how much refined titanium was I going to need for my max setup, you might ask? 120. And that's just the titanium. I was also going to need over 150 refined mithril. Oh, and not to mention, over 100 refined diamonds. And so when I started to do the math on how long it was going to take me to forge all of this stuff, I panicked. Because basically the math came out to be that if my forge was not full 100% of the time from that moment onwards, I was never going to upload a YouTube video again. So over the course of the next week or so, I went full sweat mode and mined ridiculous amounts of mithril and titanium. Honestly, if I hadn't been able to listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos on my other monitor while I was doing all this mining, I might have gone insane, because it was just too much grinding for one man to handle. And now I was finally in the home stretch of this grind, with the only 2 things missing being the Devon's armor.
Bro. This guy is spending 700 hours in Hypixel Skyblock for a pet. You can't even put the pet down, it stays in your inventory.
And I decided to focus on the armor first and save the drill for last, since that was kind of the holy grail of mining. And to actually make the armor set, I would once again have to return to Nucleus runs to try and get my hands on 24 Devon fragments. And surprisingly, I kind of had some terrible luck when it came to getting these things. Because as I came down to my last set of items for Nucleus runs, I still only had 22 Devon fragments. Meaning that if I didn't get 2 more fragments on this exact run, I was going to have to do a ton more grinding. I actually don't want to look at it. I'm so done with these Nucleus runs. Please, at least one. Times 2! Yes! Times 2! Oh, it's over! Thank God! Oh my God! Oh my, thank God, it's done. Oh my God, we needed that. We needed that so bad. We needed that so bad. Oh, finally. On On the flip side of things, though, earlier in those Nucleus runs, on about my 40th or so run, I managed to get insanely lucky again. Not looking promising. Wait! I actually got a claw! Oh my god! This Nucleus luck is actually disgusting. Dude, the command is broken right now. I can't even check how many I have. I am telling you, I have less than 40 runs total, though. That is Alloy and Alloy Claw and all my Jada rolls in less than 40 runs. For those of you who aren't aware, the Quick Claw just so happens to be the best mining pet item in the entire game. And how rare is it from a Nucleus run? About 1 in 400. Which means I had now gotten the 1 in 8,000 Alloy and the 1 in 400 Quick Claw in less than 40 Nucleus runs. Now, I'm definitely not a math expert, but I'm pretty sure that the odds of that happening are literally like equivalent to winning the lottery. So I guess some people win $50 billion and others get some cool items in a video game. But now that I had all 24 Devon fragments, I could finally start forging and get to work on my next grind. And this next grind was going to be a bit of a painful one, because I was going to have to acquire 20 gemstone chambers, which I think deserve a little bit of an explanation. So basically, this is another thing I haven't really talked about in this video, but part of upgrading your mining setup is putting gemstones on the armor. And the important gemstones are Amber, which gives mining speed, Jade, which gives mining fortune, and Topaz, which gives you pristine, which this one is by far the most important because it basically lets you drop higher tier gemstones. And the top tier of each gemstone is...
Why for those 7-hour unskippable ads?
5 billion of that respective gemstone. And in order to max out my Devon's armor and drill, I would need 10 perfect Jade,
You've got 7 hours.
and 5 perfect Topaz, which works out to roughly 62 million gemstones total.
I'm gonna
But
pick
don't worry, I'm not
lowest
planning on
volume.
grinding all 62 million of these gemstones in like some crazy streak at the end here. I actually had been working on getting these all throughout the grind, and basically had them all done. But that's where these gemstone chambers come into play. Because in order to actually put all of these gemstones onto my Devon's armor, I need those 20 chambers. And in order to make those 20 chambers, I need 2,000 of an item called Worm Membrane. And the way you get this Worm Membrane is what I was referring to when I said this was going to be a pretty boring grind. Because essentially you just create a little lava fishing area and fish up as many of these worms as your brain can handle. And so after roughly 30 to 40 hours of this mind-numbing fishing process, I was down to my last membrane.
It's alright.
Alright, I think this might be the last time I ever have to kill these worms right here. I currently need 8 more membranes to finish off the amount I need. I'm about to do the clear for our little loot share party here. I'm not even going to look at my inventory until they're all cleared out. I'm just praying that I have enough. Please. You're kidding me. I'm 1 short. I am 1 membrane short. Oh my god. Alright, that's it. I'm literally gonna fish up worms one at a time until I get this membrane. I am not about to sit here. Come on. Alright, this is the one. This is the one. Come on. Oh, there we go. We got it. We got it. Let's go. Let's go. I am finally done. Oh my god. And if I sound different right now, that's because it is currently 7:20 in the morning and I have yet to sleep. I kind of underestimated this grind, and yeah, it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. But heading back to my private island now, I can put all of these away, and there we go. My 31 stacks and 16 worm membrane, which equates to exactly 2,000 worm membrane. But I can't actually craft the gemstone chambers with this stuff quite yet because my forge is currently full of a bunch of different items that still have another 10 hours at the very minimum until they're completed. But after waiting for all of that stuff in my forge to finish and then also forging up all 20 of those chambers, it was time to max out and test my setup
been like
with this
3 hours.
So now I can just go ahead and click on each of these pieces and unlock all 5 of the gemstones on every single one of them. And just as a side note, if I was on like a regular profile where I could sell items to other players, each of these chambers would be worth about 10 million coins. So every click here would be costing me 10 million coins. And we are finally on the boot, and there we go. Every gemstone slot is now unlocked on this armor. So now it's time to go through the process of actually applying some gemstones to this stuff, which I do have.
I'm watching you.